Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from. Welcome to this Passive Income Accelerator webinar. My name is Idris and I'll be your host. Now, what do you expect to get out of this webinar? At the end of this webinar, I would expect that everybody on this webinar would have learned the reason why they must create passive income or plant a money tree. Number two, we'll talk about 3 practical steps to create passive income no matter where you are in the world. Number 3, we'll talk about the financial freedom equation. Number 4, we will discuss the number 1 industry in which you can create passive income. I mean, this is logical, right? Number 5 is how you can avoid the 95% loser trap. How you can exit or take yourself out of that 95% of the general populace that are losers, that lose. Number 6 is one proven secrets and strategy that you can use to minimize your risk and maximize your reward. Number 7 is how you can leverage collaboration and community for long-term sustainable success. I'm sure you can't wait to get on this journey. So buckle your seatbelts and let's ride. Now, let me start by asking you a simple question. If you have 2 doors in front of you, one says financial security, the other says financial freedom, which door would you enter? Unfortunately, for many people, even for you that are listening right now, you might think that these doors are the same, security and freedom. But in reality, they are actually the opposites of each other. Financial security is the opposite of financial freedom. Take security as somebody puts you in a room, put food, put water, put toilets, but person locks the room. Are you secured? 100% you are secured. But are you free? Of course, you are not free. And if you think about it, the most secured people in this world are maximum security prison inmates. Those are the most secure people in this world. So if you are a thinking person, definitely you would want to choose the red door, which is financial freedom. Now, the next question is, how do people achieve financial freedom? There are many ways by which people can achieve financial freedom, but one thing is common with all these ways. And what is that thing? It is the fact that these people have been able to divorce their income from time and physical activity. They've been able to create income even while they are sleeping, without putting in their time or their efforts. That is one common characteristic of the way people have been able to achieve financial freedom. Now, let's look at the USD situation in Nigeria, because this situation is the underlying factor of everything that is happening in this country. As at October 2022, about 2 years ago, $1 was 720 naira. Fast forward to today, it's about 1,720. Mathematically, there has been about 140% depreciation within 2 years and 1 month, 25 months. What that means for you, if you're a salary earner and you work for a company, is that if the corporation you work for, the company you work for, had not doubled your salary, in fact, more than double your salary over the past 2 years, it means that you are earning less. And if you are a trader, for example, you're a business owner, you are into buying and selling, can imagine a situation whereby you buy goods now, you sell those goods with profits. But before you can restock those goods, you need to dip into your pockets or go and borrow more additional money and add to the cost and profits before you can restock. A lot of traders have experienced this, and it's not a good situation to be. So financial freedom, like I was saying, comes down to how you earn money. How, then the key word, it's not about how much you earn now, it's about how you earn that money. Now, how do people earn money? How do people earn money? People, we can illustrate the way people earn money by looking at something we call the cash flow quadrants. On the right side of these quadrants, we have employees and self-employed. These are people that put in their personal time and skills, and those are directly tied to their income. While on the right side, we have business owners and investors. They are people that leverage a system or leverage their money to create an income. But the good thing is that these quadrants are not mutually exclusive. You can be on the left side and on the right side at the same time. You can be an employee and an investor at the same time. In fact, you can be in all the quadrants at the same time, right? One other thing that we don't pay attention to is how we spend money. And this is so important because it's something that differentiates the classes of people. It differentiates the poor from the rich from the middle class. So how do the poor spend money? The poor see money as a voucher, something to pay their bills. So the money comes in and it's spent as, it's a voucher to pay the bills. The middle class see money as something for the good life, to buy the toys, kind of the cars, the watches. Why the rich see money as a seed that they plant to create a money tree. Then the fruit from that money tree is now what is spent to pay the bills and to buy the good things. Right? The rich have simply been able to plant a money tree. And now let's talk about how you can plant a money tree anywhere you are in the world. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Idris, and I have over a decade experience in finance, private equity, merger and acquisition, corporate finance, both within and outside the big four firm. I recently, not recently, about a year ago, resigned a seven-figure monthly role in the oil and gas industry to seek freedom. And my current goal is to build a community of 1 million people marching towards freedom by any consistent income outside of their jobs and traditional businesses. One thing I didn't mention on this my introduction is that I actually studied science in school, right? It's interesting. But now I'm in finance. But one good thing I like about science is that no matter how complex anything is, anything at all, it can be simplified into a simple equation. Yeah, into a simple equation. And that is what we are going to do today. We are going to simplify financial freedom into a simple equation. Now, what is financial freedom equation? It is simple. It is passive income minus active expense is greater than or equals to zero. Passive income minus active expense is greater than or equals to zero. Now, if you rearrange this equation, what do you get? You get passive income is greater than or equals to active expense. Now, what this means to a layman is that if your passive income, which is the income you earn without putting in your time and effort, if that income is greater than or is equals to your active expense, which is your bills, the money that you spend actively, then you are financially free. You don't have to work again because the income you are earning without working is taking care of your bills. Then you don't have to work again, right? You can just live your life, right? That is the financial freedom equation. The next thing we want to do is to reverse engineer this equation, to break down this equation into actionable steps that we can take to get to that financial freedom. And which is what we have done. We have broken down this equation into 3 steps by taking each side of the equation and talking about a step to achieve each side of the equation. Now, what is the number 1 step to plant a money tree? Number 1 is to know your monthly numbers, which is the same thing as knowing your active expense. If I ask you, or if I ask many people listening to this, in fact, if I sample 1,000 people and I ask them, hey, do you know how much you spent last month? Many people have no idea. Do you know how much you are going to spend estimated this month? No idea. Do you know how much you are going to spend over the next 3 months? Like an estimate? No idea. But if you are trying to shoot at a target and you don't know what that target is, there's no way that you can ever hit that target. No way. So, number 1 is for you to know your monthly numbers. You need to know your active expense. For many people, it might be difficult for them because you don't have the technical know-how. And that is why I have created some workbooks that can help you. And if you've seen some of my short form videos, maybe on Instagram or on TikTok, you'll have seen that I make use of those tools to illustrate a point. So if you wait till the end of this webinar, I will tell you how you can get access to those tools. It's as simple as that. So that's number 1. Number 2 is you need to calculate your savings targets. Because income follows assets. Basically, what is assets? Asset is anything that puts money into your pockets. Liability takes money out of your pockets. But the mistake a lot of people make is in thinking that assets has to be physical. Like, you have to maybe build a 100 units flat, 100 units shopping complex, and then that will generate income for you. Real estate is a very solid asset. But the mistake is in you thinking that assets has to be physical, has to be something that you can hold. Because the truth is, the only assets that can generate you income right now, like immediately, without any form of effort or stress from you, is actually not physical assets. It's actually your monetary assets, your liquid assets, which is basically your money. Right. Now, imagine a situation whereby you have done your step number 1, you've calculated your active expenses, and you come to say 500,000 in a month. Imagine a situation whereby you now have 5 million somewhere working for you and generating 10% every month. Hypothetically. What that means is that you don't need to work before you can pay your bills because that 5 million is working and paying your bills. But it's likely that you don't have that bulk money somewhere. Then you now need to work and create that monetary assets that will take over the work from you. That is why you need to then calculate your savings targets. That's step number 2. Moving forward, step number 3 is now to deploy that assets in a safe, secured, and highly profitable environment. This is where the technical know-how of knowing how to create passive income comes into play. So let's go deeply into this. But before we go ahead, let me ask you a question. that is very important. Do you know the number one industry in which you can make money? Number one industry in which you can make money. I mean, this question is so important because you are thinking of making money. You need to know where you can actually make that money. And if you ask many people these questions, different people with different answers. Some people will tell you, oh, it's real estate, oh, it's oil and gas, oh, it's aviation industry, oh, it's entertainment, oh, it's tech. Many different answers based on each person's perspective, right? But there's actually one universal answer to this question, and you will be so surprised because it's commonsensical. The number one industry you can actually make money is the money industry itself. Like, think about it. So commonsensical. It's actually the money industry itself. And now, what is the money industry? What makes up the money industry? Generally, I would say Wall Street. The financial capital of the world, the banks, the hedge funds, the mutual funds. Those financial institutions. They actually what makes up the money industry. The next thing you then want to ask yourself is that, okay, I know that I cannot wake up tomorrow and say I want to go and start a bank, or I want to start a mutual fund company, or I want to start an hedge fund company. So the question I want to ask myself is, what aspects of this money industry can I get into? That's the question you want to ask yourself. What aspect of this industry can I get into that the barrier of entry has been lowered? And the answer is simple. I'll just keep that at the back of your mind. I will let you know. But let me ask you another question to answer that question. I will show you some companies now, and you would guess where those companies play. So look at these mega companies. We have BlackRock, Vanguard, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citadel. For reference sake, BlackRock and Vanguard, if you combine those two companies, they control more than 30% of all the monies in the world. All the monies in the world. So what that tells you is that these companies are not small companies. They are mega companies. JP Morgan is like one of the biggest banks in the United States. Goldman Sachs, that name must sound familiar to you. Citadel is the biggest hedge fund in the world. And now see the irony, right? See the irony. Few minutes ago, or sorry, a few seconds ago, we were talking about where the barrier of entry is lowered. And now we are talking about mega company. What is the connection between this? Just hold on, I will tell you. You will find out very soon. But to answer this particular question I'm asking you right now, where do these mega companies play? There is only one place that is big enough to contain them. There's only one ocean that is wide enough to contain all these whales, all these big sharks. And what is that? It's in the financial markets. It's actually the foreign exchange markets. Because the foreign exchange market is the world's biggest, fastest growing, and the most liquid financial market in the world. Daily transaction turnover is in excess of almost going to 7 trillion now. And if you compare this to another financial market, which is the equities market in the US, the stock market, that stock market is only a tiny portion. The transaction that happens in the stock market on a daily basis is only a tiny portion of what happens in the foreign exchange markets. But here's the catch. The catch is that 95% of players in this market will never make money. I'm closing my eyes as I'm saying this. It's painful, but it is the fact. And you have to acknowledge that fact for you to have any form of success here. 95% of players in this market will never make money. And why do you think that is? Ask yourself that question. Why do you think that is the situation? It's very simple and it's how the world works. If you are somebody that understands how the world works, you will know that the world is not a fair place, right? And so if there is a place where there is a lot of money to be made and the barrier of entry to that place is non-existent, because any idiot with a phone, internet connection, and some money can actually enter the foreign exchange market. The only reason why that is possible is because the big guys in this market, they actually want you to come in and lose your money. It's as simple as that. You need to know that fact and live with it. It's a fact. They actually want you to come in and lose your money. I'm taking my time to emphasize this, right? So the next question you want to ask yourself is, how do you exit this 95% of losers and enter the 5% of winners, right? How do you do that? You can do that in two ways. Number one is the hard way, hard and long way. Number two is the easier way. So what is the hard and long way? It is the way that many people say. They tell you to come and learn how to trade and invest your time, your money, your emotion. And then after some few years, if you are lucky, if you are part of the 1 out of 10,000 people that actually succeed, you can then come to a place where you are profitable and you create great income from the forex market. That is the hard way. So that means that if you have a job or you have a budding career that you are taking care of, you actually don't have that time and energy to invest. What is the easier way? The easier way is what I call follow Uno road. But before I explain that easier way to you, let me ask you another question. Do you know what they call smart money? Have you ever heard of smart money and dump money? So smart money are these banks, the mutual funds, the hedge funds, the real estate investment trust, because they have billions of dollars, they have access to information, they are the ones that drive these markets. The dump money, on the other hand, are you and I, the retail traders. You have few $100 or $1,000, you are just reacting to what is happening, you follow the market. But the obvious truth is that the dump money cannot compete with smart money. That now brings me to the smarter way. The smarter way is easier. Is simple. It's leverage the smart money. Follow Uno road. Leverage the smart money. It's as simple as that. Because the truth is, if you are listening to this from Nigeria, in Nigeria parlance, we say follow Uno road, follow Uno road, and we trivialize that word. But the truth is, 95% of success in this world is actually an imitation of that word. Follow Uno road. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to flow with the wheel, use the wheel, and that is what I personally, we as a community, we are preaching. We are preaching follow Uno road. And how do you do that? You simply leverage the smart money by using an innovative and automated system that allows you to directly copy the smart money. Even if you have no experience, you have zero knowledge, you can leverage the smart money. Now, if you look at this line, you see a picture of a shark. And under that shark, there is a fish called remora fish. So this fish does not compete with other fishes in the ocean for food. The fish just attaches itself to a shark. So when the shark is feeding, the fish also gets fed. A mutualistic relationship, which is a win-win situation for both parties, for the fish and also for the shark. And that is what we are preaching as a community. That is what we do as a community. But there is one secret that many people don't know, and this secret will increase the odds in your favor. I will talk about that secret towards the end of this webinar. So you need to watch this to the end and pay great attention. Now, this might sound like something you've heard before, but it's good for me to break this down. Break it down so that you can have a good understanding of what this is and what this is not. So what this is decentralized, because as much as you want to leverage this smart money, you need to remain 100% in control. So you are not giving your money to anybody. Your money stays 100% in your control, right? Number two is transparent. You see everything that happens. All the trades that are taken, all the wins, all the losses, everything is clear. You see it. It's automated. It does not take your time. You sit back and you don't even have to have internet connection. Just set it and forget. It's time efficient. Does not take your time. There are no limits on withdrawal. There are no withdrawal fees. And your risk management is self-determined. This now brings me to some of the questions that I get when people listen to me talk, and they say, "Oh, I did one thing in the past. Is this that sounds similar to this?" And those people ran away with my money, or they just disappeared after some time, or I gave somebody my money and the person disappeared. Are you sure this is not a scam? I get that question a lot, right? It's my job to educate you, so I will do that in a few minutes. So one thing I tell people when I get this question is that for anybody to have run away with your money, three things must have been present. For any company to have come and you give them your money and they disappear, three things must have been present. Number one is control, right? Lack of control. You were never in control of that money. You took your money and you handed it to a third party, and that makes it easy for the third party to disappear. You were never in control. That's number one. Number two is there's usually lack of transparency. For example, a company comes and tells you, I'm sure you can remember some of these companies. The company comes and tells you, okay, we are investing in crypto, or we are trading, or we are doing arbitrage. They use that buzzword, arbitrage. Come and do arbitrage. So give us your money, I will be giving you so percentage every day. But what then happens is you don't actually see what they are doing with your money. You don't see the positions they are taking with your money. In fact, you don't see anything. You just see your back end, and you are seeing your percentage going up every day. Oh yeah, withdraw the money now. So there's no transparency. Then number three is that there is no freedom. There's usually something about a clause where you have to lock in your money for some period of time, or a time where you cannot access your money, right? So that freedom is not there. So if you think back clearly to anything you've done where you put in your money somewhere and they ran away with your money, those three things must have been absent. Now let's move forward to what this is not. This is not a signal service provider. Sorry, it's not a signal provider service. It's not a return on investment scheme, and it's not a multi-level marketing scheme where you are required to bring people before you can make money. Right. Now, moving ahead, for this old system to work, some infrastructures are very important, and one of them is a broker. Now, who is a broker? A broker is a regulated financial institution that provides traders access to the markets. They are like your middleman between you and the markets. So think about it as a bank. So, for example, if you are in Lagos and you have this $100, say you have this $100 in your hand, and you want to send this $100 to your brother in Kaduna, what do? You take this $100 and take it to the bank, right? Without the bank, that money will not get to your brother anywhere your brother is. So the bank is the middleman between you and your brother. That's exactly what the broker does. The broker is a regulated financial institution that is the middleman between you and the markets. So knowing how important a broker is, it's important that we work with the right set of brokers by working with fully regulated and compliance brokers, brokers that have a system that their deposit is fast and withdrawal is immediate, excellent customer service, multiple funding option, they are locally present, they have smart tools, and your deposit is insured. Deposit is insured, and they've been in the market for a long time, so they have years of experience. And those are the brokers that we have partnered with. Right. Now let's talk about something that is very important. It is risk and reward. There's always this question, oh, what is the risk? Which is a very nice question. But you will be an idiot. I'm sorry for using that word, but you'll be a fool if you think that you can get a reward without undertaking an amount of risk. If anybody is sitting down in front of you, just the way I'm doing this webinar, and person tells you, oh, you can get so reward, there is no risk. My brother, my sister, just know that that person is lying to you. It's a white-faced lie. There is always risk. Even when you are buying and selling, there is always risk that you will not make a profit or that you will lose your money, right? So you should always ask that question. What is the risk? Because it's that question that, if you calibrate the risk against the reward, you will know whether it is worth it. So trading in the financial markets has considerable amounts of risk. However, if you are in the financial markets, the only thing you can actually control is your risk. So you know that yes, there is risk, but you have to find a way to manage and control that risk. So how do we manage the risks involved in this? Number one is taking an hyper-conservative approach, right? A very conservative approach, because the more you are looking for how to make money fast, the easier it is for you to lose money fast. So if you take an approach where you make money slowly but consistently over a period of time, then it's not possible for you to lose money immediately over a short period of time. So taking an hyper-conservative approach, that's one. Number two is community pooling. This is where community comes together to minimize your risk and maximize your reward. This is a slide on its own, which I will explain very soon. Just put that at the back of your mind. We'll explain community pooling very soon and how we use it to minimize risk and maximize reward. Then its third thing is account safety net, which is to say, I've set a safety net on my account. What that means is, no matter what happens, this is the maximum amount I can ever lose on this account, right? I've set that safety net there. This is the maximum amount I can ever lose on this account. So you take that approach. Then number four is diversification of accounts, which is the fact that you should have one account that is pooled with a community. You should also have another account that is personal. I will also talk about this under community pooling. So we have a diversification of accounts, which is you have one that is pooled in the community and one that is personal. Personal that only you can, you use your personal account. Then number five is having two-factor authentication and investor pass on your account. Two-factor authentication is similar to token. Having token on your on your GT Bank app, that would mean that only you can access and take money out of that app. Now let's go ahead and talk about community pooling. This is so important. This is the basis of what we do. why we have a strong community. This is the basis of why that community exists. Now, let's talk about community pooling, which will minimize your risk and maximize your reward. This is a top secret. Now, what we have done on our own end is that we've entered a partnership with a financial institution who is also a broker. But let me also mention that this institution is not a proprietary firm. For people that are knowledgeable about this, is not a proprietary firm. And the reason why we've chosen not to partner with a proprietary firm is that that industry currently is not regulated. So they do anyhow, right? So they just come and change rules overnight just to put you at a disadvantage. So we are not partnering with a prop firm. This is a regulated broker. So what these guys are saying is that we have access to money. We have access to venture capital money in our water. But we are looking for excellent traders to give that money to. But instead of us saying, oh, give you a test on your demo account, and you pass, because they found out that people can easily pass demo because the emotion is not at play. So what they are telling you is that, okay, open an account with us as a brokerage account. Open an account with us and take 20 trades. After 20 trades, we will give you a score. We'll look at your trades and we'll give you a score. We'll say, okay, based on your consistency, your skills, your score is 60 over 100. So if your score is above 50%, you have passed. If your score is above 50% and you have an account of $500, you have access to funding of additional $5,000. So they will open a separate account of $5,000 for you. Now, at the end of 30 days, the profits you make on that $5,000 account, because at the end of that 30 days is like a probation period for you. Unfortunately, they will not share the profits with you. It's a probation period for you. But after that 30 days, you would have access to a $20,000 account. Now, imagine a situation whereby you have an account of 1,000. You open an account of 1,000 with this broker, and after 30 days, you have access to an account of 20,000 additionally, besides the 1,000. That your 1,000 account is still your own. That's your personal account. What then happens is, as soon as you make 5% on the $1,000 account, that's how much? $50. Because the trade on that $1,000 account is duplicated on the $20,000 account, it means that you've also made a profit of 5% on the $20,000 account, which is how much? $1,000. Now, when the profit is shared 40-60, meaning that you keep 40%. That means you will be keeping $400 out of that 20,000 profit of 1,000 made on that $20,000 account. Meaning that for that month, the total of your profit is $450, which is $50 from your 1,000 account, $400 profit share from the 20,000 accounts that they've provided with for you. What that means is, in as little as 2 months, you can recover your initial 1,000, meaning that whatever you are doing after that, you are not taking any risk. You are not taking any risk, and the reward is, just coming in fast. Then going forward, after that, you can get to higher funding of as much as $100,000. At that point, you are not taking any risk, and your reward is maximized. Then imagine you get to $200,000, $500,000, $1 million. Wow. Now we've realized that not many people can individually have $1,000, and that is why we have a community. The purpose of this community is to pool resources together and do this. So looking at the scenario that I've painted earlier, imagine that 2 people, $500 each, they come together, or 3 people with $340 each come together, or 4 people with $250 come together, and they have $1,000 account. What that means for them is that the maximum risk that each person is taking is just that $250. And you can imagine what the reward is. And in the first 2 months, each person has already recovered their capital. So anything that happens after that, everything is done risk-free. So they are taking 0 risk from that point on, and their reward is maximized. So that is the reason why you want to be a member of this community immediately. So this brings me to the Passive Income Accelerator Club. What's in it for you in this club, for joining this club? Number 1 is the access to the Smart Money Connect system. Number 2 is the seamless setup process, which is having mini videos for DIY setup, do it yourself, private one-on-one concessions, 100% done for you for people that are busy. Community growth with your tribe. right? You can grow as a community. Number 4 is great bonuses, which we are going to talk about. So, access to a smart money connect system is decentralized, it's transparent, it's automated, your risk are managed, and you can use it for both your personal accounts and your pool accounts. Both for personal accounts and your pool account. Now, if I were to put a value to what this offers you, put a conservative value, thinking about what you see out there, right? I'll put a conservative value of 1699000. This is just about $1,000. $1,000, 1699000. That is the value I'm attached to this. Now, the second thing is the seamless setup process, which is the videos, the private calls, and even if you want somebody to do it for you, to set up everything for you, put a value to this, a value of 29,999. And the third thing is community, having access to community. Because what this community affords you is that it gives you lifetime access to community of like-minded, upward mobile people like you. You have priority to future services like crypto and real estate. So let me explain this further. Despite the fact that we are forming a community and we are pulling our resources together to reduce our risk and increase our reward, along the line, we would also have something to do with crypto, in the crypto space, where we can pull little resources together to reduce our risk and then get funding from a crypto proprietary firm, so that that little resource can yield us, that little resource can give us access to bigger funding in the crypto space, right? And ultimately, we can get to a point where we can come together as a community to buy real estate, to consolidate assets. So there is a big advantage in having a community. This is a community that will be alive for years to come. So you need to get into this community right now. Then the third thing is access to personal finance improvement plans, because it is a finance community. And so you have to get your finance in order. So if I were to put a value to this community alone, I'll put a value of 159,999. It's a lifetime access to this community. Now let's talk about bonuses. These bonuses are indispensable because they help you put your financial house in order. If you remember when I was talking about the number 1 step with which you can create passive income, I mentioned the fact that you need to get your active expenses right. You need to know your monthly numbers, right? And I mentioned the fact that I use some tools personally to do this. And these are basically the tools that I use. Number 1 is bare essential budget. Number 2 is set better savings goals. These are practical guides, practical workbooks that you can use for yourself to determine what is absolutely necessary for your household and what can be slashed. Then bonus 2 is for you to set better savings goals. For some people, when they hear budget and savings, they just shut down. They shut down their brain. But the truth is, you cannot be in a place where your money is working for you without first having a budget to ensure that something is left over from your active income. And then save what is left over, that is where savings comes in. So if I were to put a value to these bonuses, number 1, 19,999, number 2, 19,999. Now go to the third and fourth bonus. This might not actually apply to you because it talks about how to pay off debt effectively and how to handle debt while in crisis. If I were to put a value to these two, 1999, 1999. Now the fifth and sixth bonuses are personal household running cost calculator. How much do you need to run your household? This would help you to calculate that. And also the financial freedom cheat sheet, which is a plug and play, fill in the gap and your result appears, right? Put a value to this, 9999, 1999. Now, if I were to calculate the whole value of joining this passive income accelerator community, it is 1,998,992 naira. Which, if you convert this to dollar, just about it's less than $1,500. So you can see even the value is conservative. For a limited time offer, if we propose a 50% off, which is 999,496, would that make sense? Yes, it would, but we will not do that. If we propose a 75% off for 499,748, would that make sense? Yes, it would. It will be over worth it, but we will not do that. If we propose a 90% off at 199,899, would that be fair? Of course, it would be fair, but we will not do that. Now, for a limited time offer to join this community, you can join at a zero upfront costs. Zero upfront costs. You can have access to everything that we've spoken about in this webinar at a zero upfront cost. And I know what you are thinking right now. You are thinking, okay, so what's the catch? because you know that nothing is free in this world. And you are right, nothing is actually free. I won't begrudge you that, right? So what we are proposing, it's a success profit split ratio. Now imagine that you go to iStore to buy iPhone 16, let's say iPhone 16, and the cost is 2 million. But at the store, they tell you, okay, this phone you are buying, you are going to use this phone. We guarantee that you will use this phone for 2 years. 2 years, right? But instead of paying us that 2 million ahead, what we want you to do is take this phone, go and use. At the end of every quarter, divide that 2 million into the number of quarters in 2 years. How many quarters are in 2 years? 8 quarters. That is 250,000 per quarter. At the end of every quarter, come and pay us 250,000. What you've entered into is a long-term partnership with that iStore, which is exactly what we are also putting on the table, which is to say, you can have access to all these things at zero cost for now. But we are entering into a success profit split ratio at 80-20, meaning that whatever profits you make, you get to keep 80% of it, and we get to keep 20% out of that profit. It's as simple as that. What that means is, if you don't make profits, we are not going to make any profits, obviously. That is what it means. So it's a win-win scenario for everybody. And note, this is subject to future reviews. What that means is, by tomorrow, the ratio can be 95-5 or can be 75-25. So it's subject to future review, but you would, as a member of the community, your opinion will always be sought out before this can happen. Also, if you are listening to this, I also wanted to let you know that in the future, there's going to be a one-time cost to join the community. So that is why this is a limited time offer, and you should get into the community immediately. I'd like to share some success stories with you, right? And I want you to listen as we share these stories.
I just woke up and this morning and I saw that I'm in profit of $62, like without doing anything. So I'm just going to share how I came about this. So I signed up and I opened this account. I have another account. I've shared how I was able to make over $400 in the space of in less than 2 months, in the space of 1 month plus, I was able to make over $400. So this is another account that I opened on the 24th of this month. Today is 29th, and on the 24th, you can see it up here. That's when I opened this account with $1,000, and right now I'm on a profit of $108. You can see that in the space of 5 days. So guys, if you're not here, I don't know where you are. I don't know what you want. I don't know what exactly is going to excite you. If this doesn't excite you, if you don't jump on this opportunity,
Okay, so that's from a nursing mother. So let me hear from the next person, or let's hear from the next person. But this person is a teacher, right?
Hello everyone, my name is Bukola Ayodeji. I am a teacher here in Nigeria. I started this investment last month, precisely on the 13th of March was when I started, and I started with $320. I started with $320, and yesterday, exactly 1 month after, my money was $480. I have made a withdrawal. I withdrew $150 from my account. My capital is still there. The gain is still there. I started with $320. After just 1 month, I have $480. Now, that is a big deal to me, because what I earn as a teacher here is lesser than the $150 that I was able to withdraw this month.
Okay, so let's hear from the third person.
Hello, my name is Israel, and I'm the Business Development Manager for Liner Limited. And we are actually on the social trading accounts, which we joined by the 2nd of this month, which we are August. And we invested about $10,000 and we were able to realize about $12,200, which is about 20% increase.
Those were very powerful success stories. But unfortunately, we can't put all the success stories in this presentation. So we have compiled many success stories, videos, screenshots, and we have put them on a website. You can access that website with the link yes, that you can see on your screen right now. Yes.
So how do you get started, ladies and gentlemen? All you need to do is request a group connection link from your inviter. the person that invited you to see this conversation. The person will guide you on how you can join the community. The second thing to do is you open your account, you fund the account, you connect the account to the smart money profit system, then you sit back, watch your account grow, and withdraw your profits. It's as simple as that. Now, let's talk about multiple streams of income. Who wants multiple streams of income? I definitely raise my hand. I want multiple streams of income. But the mistake a lot of people make is thinking that you have to do 7 different things before you can have multiple streams of income. No, from this ecosystem, you can actually create multiple streams of income from this. Now, there are 3 levels of passive income you can make from this. The first one is what we've been talking about, which is the Smart Money Connect system, where you use your money and you collaborate with other community members so that your risk is reduced to have access to bigger funds. And then you can use this to generate income. Then the second thing is broker partnership. Remember when I was talking about broker, I mentioned the fact that brokers are just like your banks. Now, think about it. How do banks make money? Right? One of the ways through which banks make money is from the charges that they put on your accounts. The broker also makes money by taking spread, charges on your accounts. So you can imagine if the broker tells you that, or you can imagine if your bank tells you that, oh, you use GT Bank. GT Bank now tells you, oh, you're our customer. But if you introduce a friend to us, your family members to us, for every charge we take on that family member's account, we'll be giving you 40% of that fee that we take on that person's account. What that means is, so far that person continues to use the bank, you will just continue to get paid. And the third stream of income here is the profit split sharing. Now, for the people that you have introduced, when they make profits and they share the 20% of that profit, imagine if you are also getting a portion of that 20%, right? What that means is you will continue to make passive income as long as those people are making money and as long as they are using the broker. The broker will continue to pay you and you also continue to make money from their profits. It's as simple as that. This is passive income. And this is where you can actually leverage your personal influence. Imagine a situation whereby you broker a meeting between us and your church members, just for us to do this presentation to your church members, and people come on board. Those people are coming on board like you introduce them. So you are the broker is paying you for the accounts that they open, and you are also getting a portion of the profits that those people make, right? This is passive income. Do the work once and get paid forever. It's as simple as that. Ladies and gentlemen, the best time to plant a money tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. People don't fail in life because of the truth that they weren't told, but because of the truth that they were told and they chose not to believe or take action. Action takers are money makers. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. I hope to see you on board soon. Bye-bye.